Hello, YouTube. It's been a minute. It's been a while. It's been almost a year, okay? Since I posted on I keep touching my hair. I'm sorry. On my YouTube channel, and it's because a lot has happened. It's not that I didn't want to post, it's just like I would make videos, have videos ideas, and then get insecure that they're not good and not post them, okay? So, but anyways, I'm probably not gonna edit this video because low-key when I start editing the video, I'm like, this is not good. And then I don't post it. Sorry, my mind just went like blank for a second. Anyways, I just wanted to give a quick story time and a quick explanation why I haven't posted. For starters, my husband, well, now husband, he was my boyfriend, and fiance for a day. I'll get into that. So my boyfriend at the time, joined the Navy, went to boot camp. And then I started my senior year of high school. He's only a year older than me, okay? We're high school sweethearts. At this point, as I'm recording this, we've been together for 3.5 years. But anyways, at this time, I was like really going through it because really my boyfriend was my only friend. I'm not really good at making friends. I don't know. And I've just accepted that. Like, I accepted that, like, people don't really like being my friend. And it's not that I'm a bad person. It's just, like, I think I'm just socially awkward. And I just don't know how to make friends. I've only had, like, one real friend in my life. And I ended up ghosting her. I don't know how to break off, like, a relationship that was fun because she was my friend for 5 years, and I found out she was toxic because when I first met her, I was in a rough patch in my life, and low-key found out that like I was kind of gravitating towards people that kind of fit or kind of acted like my parents in a way because like that's all I knew. So when I got older and I got into a really healthy relationship with my boyfriend, I found out that she is not the best person. She's not a great person. Anyways, enough about that. So I had school friends. I had a couple close friends. But like, not any friends that were girls, if that makes sense. The friend that I consider a close friend, that was a girl, already graduated. So I didn't really have anybody. So I was lonely, depressed, starting in my senior year. Then, fast forward, my boyfriend graduates boot camp, and good for him. He graduated, and he had overnight liberty, which was cool. I was able to spend some time with him. Then we both had to leave, and we parted ways. He went to South Carolina to go to A school, and I went back home. And in between this area, like, I felt lonely, so I did want to make videos, but I just ended up not making videos because, like I said before, I didn't think they were good enough. But I like recording myself because it feels like I'm talking to someone. That might sound a little depressing. But anywho, yeah. I tried making videos, never really posted them. I felt uncomfortable because I was filming in my house and I shared a room with my sister, so it was always kind of weird making videos, if that makes sense. I just have a coffee, so this video might be all over the place. I apologize in advance if I start yapping about random stories. It might not happen because I've already recorded this video like 4 times already, and this is my 4th time doing it. It might not happen, but it might happen. Then my boyfriend gets holiday stand down. Well, my husband, but at the time boyfriend. Okay. Then my husband gets a holiday stand down, and me and him were talking over the phone about getting married over holiday stand down at a courthouse. So after I graduate high school, I'll be able to live with him. And I was still in high school, and I was also really nervous to tell my family I kind of have like an anxiety about that, about telling people. I think it's just something that got created from my childhood. So I didn't end up bringing any of my family or my husband's family to the courthouse when we were getting married. There's two reasons for that. One might not make sense to some people, but I have anxiety, and also I'm a people's pleaser. Um, so in my mind, like, I overthink situations that are actually not that bad. Anyways, so the two reasons were I didn't want to have a hodgepodge wedding in someone's backyard, like a wedding that me nor my husband wanted. So we decided that we're gonna get married at a courthouse, get marriage certificate same day, and have a wedding celebration later on. The reason why we didn't invite my family is because, like I said, I'm a people pleaser, and my husband, well, now sister-in-law, my sister-in-law was having her wedding in February, and she was like the first of the siblings of my boyfriend's, well, husband, sorry, my husband's family to get married. So we didn't really want to take that away from her, and also they already spent a large amount of money for this wedding. So, I don't know. It's now looking back at it, it's silly, but in my mind, I thought like I was doing a good thing by not telling anybody because she was getting married. And it's not like I wasn't planning on telling anybody and keeping it a secret. I was going to tell them after I graduate high school. So we got married in December 2025. I was graduating May 2026. So, anyways, so my cousin had a baby shower. I forgot what time it was, but it was somewhere between December and May. Okay, I forgot. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I was talking to my grandma, and she, mind you, they didn't know. I just told what everybody knew, both sides, like my husband's family and my sorry, one second. And my family is that we got engaged. So my grandma came to me, and I already told them that I was engaged. She was like, I wouldn't be surprised if you tie the knot after high school, because so then you could go run away with him or whatever. Because I already told him that I'm moving to South Carolina with him. And so she wasn't surprised if we were gonna get married after high school. Then she later explains that, your aunt just renovated her backyard. It would be a perfect spot for a ceremony. We could get your uncle to like, who is my uncle's a pastor, or was a pastor, to like finalize the marriage and everything. And you could get this is what really boiled my blood. She said, and you could get a nice dress off of Amazon. Really? She also said that like, and since you're moving away, it would be a good way to get money and stuff for your guys' house. Which, yeah, that would have been nice, but low-key, I'm not a materialistic person. I'm not just gonna expect people to bring a gift, to a wedding or whatever, and I'm not trying to like collect money from people. In my mind, I don't know. Like, a wedding in my mind is like, it's, like all I want people to bring is a good energy and meet people that are now a part of the family, Like I said, I'm not materialistic, so in my mind, like, the last thing I think of when having a wedding is gifts, Like, obviously, when I'm going to other people's birthday parties and weddings, I'm bringing a gift, obviously, but like, I wouldn't expect people to give me a gift, So yeah, my grandma said, just get a dress off of Amazon, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, no, this is exactly what I didn't want. I didn't want a hodgepodge wedding with like Dollar Tree decorations and like having in someone's backyard. I want it at a venue or an area that I love, and the dress that I love, like the decorations that I love. And I just don't want to throw it all together, if that makes sense. I just want to like take my time with it. And she's like, well, and I told her that, well, we could have a wedding in the future, when we have more money. And she was like, well, then you're never gonna have one. You're never gonna have a wedding. Girl, I've been planning since I was like, I don't even know how young, but I've been planning my wedding for a long time, okay? It's gonna happen. Well, not just my wedding, me and my husband's wedding. He has an idea in mind of what he wants. I have an idea in mind of what I want. We'll meet somewhere in the middle, you know? For our wedding. We already have an idea for our wedding. Anyways, so my sister-in-law's wedding comes around, and mind you, they only know I'm engaged. And my brother-in-law, we'll just call him C. I'm sitting at the table, and C brought a friend, who's Marine, and C is also a Marine. And so, yeah, I'm talking to C's friend because, C was on the dance floor. We were the only people at the table, so I decided to like just chat with him because we were kind of like the odd ones out. My husband wasn't able to go because he was still in school, so it's really hard to get leave. He would get like held back and whatever, and he wanted to graduate on time because if he graduated on time, he would be able to have leave to see my graduation. It was like he couldn't take the time off, is what I'm saying. So I was just kind of there because I'm part of the family. Anyways, so I'm talking to him and I slip up that me and my husband got married, and he's like, oh. I was like, yeah, and I'm still in high school, but I'm 18 though. And he's like, oh. Then I don't know how the conversation started, but then C came over from the dance floor, and then C's friend told him, and he's like, oh, you guys are married? What? And I was like, yeah, but we haven't told L yet, which L is my sister-in-law. I haven't told Elle yet because it's her wedding night, and I'm planning on telling her though. And he's like, okay. So they all managed to keep it a secret, and fast forward to a week before my graduation, my husband flies back to Arizona for my graduation, and I end up telling her there in the car while we're picking him up. I thought she would be mad or upset that we didn't tell anybody for so long, but she wasn't really that upset, which I'm glad. I was kind of scared about that. So was my husband. I don't know why. But the whole month that I leading up to my graduation, the whole month of May was really, really stressful for me. My mom kind of just dumped all of it into my hands, planning my graduation party, because I wanted one to tell everybody that I was married. That was the plan. She kind of just dumped it all in my hands. She already found out that we were married. And my husband's mom found out that we were married as well, but they said they'll keep it a secret until we want to tell people. And that's my mom slipped up and told my great-grandma, but I was really mad at her for that because she basically promised that she wouldn't tell anybody, and she did. So, anyways. So, yeah, she basically wanted me to plan everything, which was kind of stressful on me, because she would always want to talk about it as we're going to school, and low-key I was half awake. Like, who wants to make plans as we're driving to school? I said to her that I really don't want to talk about planning my graduation party right now because I just got home from school. We could talk about it after dinner so we can make a more finalized plan about what we want to do and just have a one-on-one talk. She got mad at me, as she always does. She always gets mad. And instead of coming and talking to me every night, she went to her boyfriend's house every night, who I despise. She cheated on her, and she's still with him. I don't like him at all. So yeah, nothing got done. And I think it was 4 days before my graduation is when my mom was like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to Olive Garden the day of your graduation to have the graduation party. She was also mad at me because I didn't invite any of her side of the family, and she's like, I'm gonna be there alone. So I want some of my family there so I'm not alone and it's not just your dad's side. I was like, okay. And for weeks, I was like, well, I don't have any way to contact them. If you want me, because she was like, you need to invite them. I'm not going to invite them. It's your graduation. You invite them. I was like, okay. I don't have any of their contact information, so I'm going to need that. She was like, okay, I'll give it to you. She never did. Then she started getting mad at me because none of her family was invited. Then the week of, she finally texts people that my graduation is on a Wednesday and if they can come. Lo and behold, no one can come because it's only a few days before my graduation. Normally, you at least need a month or two to call off work. But alas, she didn't do that, so no one could make it because they didn't get an advance on it. Like, mind you, I didn't have any of their contact information. I didn't have their addresses. I couldn't even send letters. I was solely just relying on my mom to text them. But the good thing is I was able to have a graduation party at the last minute, even though it did take some fights here and there. My mom finally did a graduation party, and mind you, she was throwing out ideas, and she's like, well, text them this plan, text them that plan, and I'm like, I want to have a finalized plan before I text them, so they don't think oh, this is what's happening when the day my graduation comes and actually there's a new plan, Like, I didn't want to keep throwing plans at them, but my mom was like, oh, I thought about this, text them that this is what's going to happen. And then 2 days later, she's like, actually, I'm thinking this would work better, text them that this is going to happen. So plans kept changing, and and all I told her is I just want my family there so then I could tell them that I'm getting married. I didn't care where it was, what we did. I just wanted to just tell them and have them all together to tell them. But I ended up telling them, and they kind of already figured it out because I did slip up at my concert with my grandma. I did end up telling her that I was living on base. So they kind of already knew because there's no way you could live on base without being married. So, but at least I can't hold it over me that I never told them, at least I told them. But yeah, it was just really hard that month. It was really stressful because my mom was she was buying me stuff, she was basically giving me all the supplies necessary to do what I needed to do, but didn't tell me how to do it, especially with my, actually, she wasn't giving me all the resources because I didn't have any of my mom's side of the family's contact information. I only had my dad's. So actually, she didn't give me any of the things necessary to do what I needed to do. And she raised me to be a very independent person, in a not a good way. She basically forced me to be independent. She didn't teach me to be independent, if that makes sense. But anywho, then I pack everything. I end up getting ready at my husband's mom's house because that's where we were staying, because my mom was stressing me out so much. I just didn't feel like sleeping over at her house and getting ready for my graduation, her controlling things. I feel like she does have a sense of she wants control. There's a time, actually, I'm gonna save that for a story time. But anyways, she shut off my data one time because I didn't do the dishes, because I fell asleep. And she took away driving me around privileges because I wanted my social security card because she lost it. So she likes some sort of control, and when she finds that she's losing control, she goes to an extreme. Then after yelling and screaming and just me getting mad at her because she's being out of line, she apologizes. And it's like, you already did that damage. A sorry is not going to do it. Be sorry and improve, And the reason why I needed a new social security card is not because I changed my name. It's because she lost it. So back in 2020, and it was 2026. I I just figured out what my social security number was because I ordered it. Um, like, so yeah, for 5 years I didn't have a social security card or even knew what my number was. Also, never had a bank account until I turned 18 because my mom's like, well, you don't have a job. So it was always embarrassing. I always feel behind. I always felt behind and still do feel behind because my mom does like to control stuff. So, like, I didn't have a bank account. I didn't have a job. I didn't even know my social security card. I didn't learn how to drive. I would take the online tests all the time to prepare and read. And I would do everything necessary to take the random person. Did she take me? No. Did she teach me how to drive? One time. And yeah, that was it. One time and that was it. And I only drove for like 5 minutes. That's also story time. But yeah, it would always be embarrassing because my classmates would be like, you don't have a bank account? You don't have a job? You don't have a car? You don't have your license? I'm like, no. So I always feel behind. But my husband's teaching me now how to drive. We've been trying to at least do that once a week. So that's already an improvement from what I had before. Anyways, graduation is happening and my mom is pressuring me. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Anyways, so my mom's pressuring me to bring her boyfriend that I don't like. She knows I don't like. I'm very open about my opinions because he's not a good man. He literally cheated on her. Like, he's not a good man. So she's pressuring me to give him a ticket because she's like, oh, I'm going to be alone because none of my family can go. It's like, whose fault is that? You didn't let me invite them because you didn't give me the information. And so she was like, the least you can do is give me a ticket for him. And I was like, and honestly, I was going back and forth. I said no, no, no. Then she kept pressuring me, and I just ended up giving in because I was just so stressed out and just so done with all that drama that I was just like, okay, here, have a ticket. It's not that big of a deal anymore. And because the reason why I made a big deal is I don't want people there that I don't want there. It's my graduation. I should be able to decide who goes to my graduation. Like, if I don't like a family member, they're not invited, you know? In my mind, that makes sense. It might be a little harsh, it might be a little cruel, but at the end of the day, you know, I don't want to be surrounded by people that are horrible. But yeah, I got ready at my mother-in-law's house because like I said before, I didn't want to get ready at my mom's house. I was already stressed out and I just didn't want her controlling me anymore. I feel like she was getting harsher on me because she felt that she was losing control. She's a narcissist, so. But yeah, my my graduation was really, really like. I really liked my graduation. I liked how everything turned out. I was able to say bye to my friends that weren't gonna go to like my friend hangout that I was planning on having. Which is amazing. Like, I got to like spend one final day with them because that last month kind of flew by really fast because I was just stressed out about everything. So time just flew by. And we all got grouped together because there was like two separate cards. We all got the same card color, which means we all went on the same side because we kind of went like this onto the stage and exit. So yeah, it was really cool that we got to sit together one final time before we say goodbye to each other. So I'm packing 2 days before I have to leave. I know that's irresponsible because I'm packing up my whole life, but like I said, I was stressed out. And I just kind of wanted a mental break every time I went to, like that I was spending time with my husband. I kind of just wanted a mental break from it all and not having to stress about packing. But I ended up packing everything that I wanted. And in the night that we were leaving, we had a red-eye flight that me and my husband were leaving. My mom finally apologized for it, but like for basically leaving me in the dark. She realized that that I've never planned a big party, like a big get together before, and this was her for like this was my first time doing it, and so I didn't know what to do. And she finally realized that I had no clue what I was doing. And that's correct. My family, like my immediate family, was never the people to host parties. It would be other members of my family hosting parties. We never hosted. So yeah, I never had any prior experience planning something out. Like I've always helped my cousin and her family with like setting up like a party, but I've never fully planned a party out. If that makes sense. But yeah, moving to South Carolina um, was and is it was kind of weird. At first, my brain thought, "Oh, we're on vacation," and then I'm like, "Oh, I'm away from my family now." I'm like over 1,000 miles away. I forgot actually the mileage, but Arizona, South Carolina. I don't know how many miles, but it's more than 1,000 miles away. Honestly, the first couple days that I was here, it was a really good mental reset because I was so stressed out. So it was a really good mental reset, just being away from everybody, except my friends. The only people like, um, they're not like my close friends, but I do consider them friends. They're basically my only friends. Like I said, I'm bad at making friends. So when we actually landed in South Carolina, I think it was a Friday or a Saturday. So people who just graduated boot camp and now are going to the command that my husband's at, were just flying in from boot camp with their sea bags and stuff. And funny thing is we didn't have a lot of luggage, so my husband actually used his sea bag as luggage to carry some of my stuff over to South Carolina. And the person that was in charge of the new boot camp, are they in Dockers? I'm not really sure the terminology. I would just call them new people. So, my husband actually knew the people that were in charge of the new people. That new people of the new people. Like, you know what I'm trying to say. The people who just graduated boot camp, the people that were in charge of them, my husband knew and actually like said hi to them, even though he wasn't freshly shaven and his hair was out of rags. So they clocked him on that, but technically he was still on leave, so they couldn't do anything. But anyways, so like I said, we used a sea bag for luggage, and so what the people in charge said were, "Oh, any sea bag, just put it over here, and we'll sort through it and make sure everybody gets what they have. Like get their bags, get their sea bags." So everybody got their sea bags, but they grabbed my husband's sea bag. So every so often he would check to see, because our tag was different since we came from Arizona. Like some tags at like in airports, like they're different. Like ours was like purple, and all of the people and all of like the new uh people from boot camp, all theirs were white. So my husband was looking for the purple tag, and the people in charge were like, "Stop coming over here! You're making us look bad," because he was out of like regs. But that was a funny moment coming into South Carolina. But like I said, really lonely here. I really don't really have much friends. My husband friends or my friends at this point, I don't have any. Like, I'm trying to talk to this one girl that's one of my husband's friend's wife. But we don't really talk too much. We don't really know each other, so I understand. Like, it's like hard to try to be a buddy with people that you don't know. I understand that, but at the same time, I'm not good at making friends. So, but I have been begging for a dog, so we are getting a dog soon. And I've been looking on Pet Finder, and there's this one dog that me and my husband love, and it's the two breeds that I wanted mixed together. I don't even want to say the name. I don't even want to say what breed they are, because that's how nervous I am that someone's gonna adopt this dog. Like, I want a boy dog. He is so cute. Like, he was so cute. So my boyfriend said August. No, sorry, I said boyfriend a lot at the beginning. My husband said that we could get a dog in August. So just wait a month, little buddy, and you'll be mine. Just wait a month and you'll be mine. I like keep checking up like every so often to see if he's still listed, and he is at this moment as I'm recording. He is still listed. I'm like, and all of his siblings are listed too. So no one's looking for those breeds right now, which is good. Hopefully. But anywho, enough yapping. I kind of explained everything that happened throughout this. I say year, but it's like school year kind of, you know. So, but yeah, I basically explained everything. That's basically all that happened. If you want story times about the stuff that I touched over, you know, drop a like. I might do those story times. Yeah, and if you want to see my videos more, subscribe. So, it was nice chatting with you guys.